Hello you lovely lot, and welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me. We are in the Highlands of Scotland. Don't believe what it says in this bottle. It does say in big letters Speyside, but it's in the Highlands. It just stretches outside of that Speyside region. I'm not going to hold Master of Malt to blame for that one. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? So this one is a 13-year-old Macduff. This is me still looking around at distilleries which I haven't touched upon or tried yet. Macduff, right up there, up in the Highlands. It's just up in the northeast, owned by the Dewar's Company, established in 1960. So Dewar's Bacardi. This one, Macduff, is a sort of strange one because you can buy official bottlings of Macduff under the Devon name. So Devon whiskey, I'm sure most of us have seen, well, that's Macduff Distillery. I would imagine that an awful lot of what Macduff are actually making is ending up in the Dewar's white label, or certainly the Dewar's blends. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I remember reviewing that Dewar's white label many moons ago, and you know, for a blend, for what's considered, I suppose, a cheap entry level blend, I quite liked it. And I remember going back to that time. So this one, as I've already said, a 13-year-old, and it's a refill hogshead, bottled at 55.7%, independently bottled by Master of Malt. Here we go. Let's just get stuck in. Loads of fruity, really creamy. And I'm going to use the word which I tend to use an awful lot going around these distilleries, but this is a 13-year-old, remember, but I'm still going to use the word youthful. It noses quite youthful, and what I mean youthful, well, there's that, and it's a term that you'll hear me using quite a lot, estery notes. And estery notes are what you tend to get. It's mostly sort of the copper contact in the stills, those fruity esters which you're getting in your new make spirit. Which is weird then, given that this is 13 years old. But it's 13 years in a refill hogshead. So it's been a bigger, tired cask, which I would nearly suggest us enthusiasts love. It's something that we're becoming quite demanding, us enthusiasts, that not only do we want this, we want that, we also would like something which, in this case, is a good example. The wood isn't necessarily hiding that distillery signature, and given that it's 13 years old, you would think that it would still lose a bit of that distillery signature, which it's not really. So that's where the youthfulness is still playing into the nose of this, in my opinion. But the cask is there, the vanillas are there, the caramel is there, very much so, but it's so creamy. I absolutely love Scotch whiskey. There's a statement. This is just classic, in my opinion, Scotch whiskey. And weirdly, if you told me this was a Speyside, and it doesn't really matter anymore, I do sort of remind myself of it quite often, that the lines between the regions of Scotch whiskey are very blurred now. But if you told me this was a Speyside, I would believe you, because it's got an awful lot of that creamy fruitiness. The honey, maybe not so much, but it's just easy on the nose, but it's still bloody good. When I say easy on the nose, it's not, I would definitely not say that this is inoffensive, approachable whiskey. That would be downplaying this. That would be giving this a disservice. It's better, much better than just approachable and inoffensive. This is a good nose. Praise be, and followed up by a great palate. Oh man, so delicate yet 55.7%. The heft is there, sweet and sour arrival. Almost instantly, there's this nutty note of it. peanut brittle. So the caramel notes are still there, the vanilla notes are still in there, but the fruitiness, the cleanliness, the sharpness, the absolute depth of flavour is incredible. But it's so damn clean as well. So it's got everything going on. And man, there's an awful lot going on here. And sometimes whenever I've got an awful lot of that going on, I tend to find them a little bit claggy then. And I wouldn't be complaining about it. But if I had one complaint, it would maybe be that it was a wee bit. This has got all of that heft and thickness, and it's sort of almost hard to explain. There's so much going on here, but it's so sharp and clean at the same time. And that sharpness and cleanliness goes right through into the finish, which is easy. It's an easy finish and a really good finish. That's chili lime. All of the citrus is there with that nice chili kick of heat. I don't swear often in this channel, as you know. This is fucking fantastic. This is amazing. I sort of took a punt on this because I'd never had any Macduff before. I'm sure I've had the Devon. So to say I've never had Macduff before, I'm sure I'm bound to have had the Devon at some point. But I don't remember ever owning a bottle, but I'm sure I've probably tried a dram of it or a sample of it. But man, if it's like this, and you add a drop of water to this, and it becomes even, it's just a fruit burst. It's so fruity. That, in the palate, that peanutty note that I mentioned earlier on, comes up a little further again. And it's just so nice. It's so easy to drink. This is the sort of whiskey that converts people to Scotch whiskey. And I know this because I've given a sample of this to a friend who's not a big fan, who doesn't like Scotch whiskey, or would certainly claim to not like Scotch whiskey, because like a lot of people has probably been down that path where they've had smoky whiskies, they've had cheaper blends and stuff like that, and they just think, well, that's not my sort of thing. And that friend loved this. Absolutely loved it. If you can, if they still have this on Master of Malt, this bottling, this independent bottling of Macduff 13-year-old, I would seek out. It's that good. It's that good. High praise indeed. High praise indeed. Gingery biscuit. Ginger nut biscuit. It just keeps giving. It keeps giving. There was a note going on late into the palate that I could not figure out what it was. And it came to me. Ginger nut biscuit. So as well as that sort of zingy chili lime thing, there's a gingery heat going on in there as well. Anyway, I could talk about this all day. What would I suggest as an alternative? Well, this it was sort of difficult, but it's going to come a little from out of left field, I would suggest. Yes, you could go with the Devon. We know what's out there. We know there's official bottlings of Macduff out there. The Devon 10-year-old seems to be the sort of lead of that core now from them. But here's what I'm going to suggest, and as I said, to me, this is a bit of a left fielder that I don't think you would maybe expect. Highland Park cask strength. And I know there'll be batch variation in the Highland Park cask strength, but I felt around in my cabinets and it had to be something cask strength, because there's that much beef, there's that much oomph in the nose of this alone that I knew that it had to be something. And it had to be something that still, even though it maybe had a bit of age about it, still felt a bit sort of creamy and youthful. And I remember absolutely loving the Highland Park cask strength, and I remember it having this weird sort of creamy thing going on. So I popped the cork on it again. I nosed it and went, right, yep. And then had a quick sip of it and thought, yeah, weirdly, it's got the depth and those toffee notes and hints of the fruity notes as well. So it is a bit of a bizarre one, but I absolutely, as I've said, love this Macduff. I also loved the Highland Park cask strength. This is fantastic. This, putting the Highland Park aside, this has got more freshness, more zing, more tang than the Highland Park would have. It's much fruitier, and it's just beautiful. If you get your chance to get your hands on this bottle, this is a bottle, and I'm sure there's probably other independent bottle Macduffs out there that are as good, if not better. But if you see this one about, pick it up. It's a good one. It's a good one. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should anybody wish to join that group and show the channel a little more support, the details are in the video description below. I'll be back the next time. I hope you can join me then. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.